and we came to the understanding, it was a mutual thing, essentially, that we came to the understanding that, like, this is what's gonna be best, like, for us to still continue to love each other and be there for each other, is to not be in a romantic relationship, because we won't be able to get to that. And
Are you going to freely and voluntarily enter into a plea that your lawyers have negotiated on your behalf?
I would like to fuss a little bit, but in order to get out of your hair, because it's been 4 years, and I'd love to take my hair off, I'm gonna go ahead and just agree.
Ms. Haddish, I will accept the following plea. Count 1, driving under the influence, let's say, of alcohol. It's a guilty plea. 12 months on probation, 24 hours in jail, but that's called time served. No more jail time. Counts 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 are going to be null crossed, and that's based on the recommendation of the state.
Now, where the hell did Tiffany Haddish go? Or, more importantly, why does it seem like nobody wants anything to do with her anymore? Common has reportedly stepped into the conversation as people continue questioning the downward spiral Tiffany Haddish has experienced since reaching the peak of her career. One minute, she was one of Hollywood's most in-demand black actresses, and the next, headlines were focused on her legal troubles, including her DUI case, with fewer major roles in sight. It's not often that we see an actress fall from such incredible career momentum so quickly. And according to the claims being discussed, Tiffany's alleged fallout may have had something to do with decisions she made behind the scenes, including controversial claims involving her connection to a certain organization. But if you think Tiffany has already hit rock bottom, some people believe there could be even more trouble ahead. Now, I have to say, it's been very strange not seeing Tiffany Haddish constantly in our faces the way she was just a few years ago. She recently pleaded guilty in connection with a DUI case after reportedly being found asleep in her car at a traffic light. Back in 2022, Tiffany also found herself at the center of a major scandal after a lawsuit was filed against her and Aries Spears, accusing them of inappropriate conduct involving 2 underage siblings during comedy sketches, including a video titled "Through a Pimp's Eyes." And now, whenever Tiffany's name appears in the headlines, there seems to be a greater chance that it's because of something controversial she allegedly did or said rather than because of a major acting role. Now, don't get me wrong, she still has upcoming projects listed, including Girls Trip 2, if it ever actually gets released, The Girl in the River, and The Lesson. But many of the major deals and opportunities that once appeared capable of taking her career to true A-list status seem to have disappeared, and some may never return. Granted, comedy is subjective and not everyone connected with Tiffany's humor, but there was definitely a time when she was considered one of the industry's biggest rising stars. Tiffany was named one of Time magazine's 100 most influential people in 2018 and was also recognized among the entertainment industry's most powerful figures during that period. She made history by becoming the first black female comedian to host Saturday Night Live, and she later won an Emmy connected to that appearance. And, of course, we can't forget Girls Trip, because the success of that movie alone had everyone rushing to put Tiffany in their projects. She seemed to be on track to becoming a major box office force with serious rom-com potential. On top of all that, the media portrayed almost everything she did as relatable and refreshingly authentic. It honestly felt like Hollywood was promoting her at every possible opportunity and practically spoon-feeding her to audiences. Girl, I'm sorry, but it was definitely giving industry plant.
Here's what happens. Like, you was always, me and my family always say you're funny. You know, as producers, you know, you hire people and you cast people. You were always funny, but you was just so, you was always on 10. Like, and you was just, sometimes you just be like inappropriate. It's like a love scene and you want to sit on the actor's lap and fart. And it's like, no, Tiffany, it's not for this scene. So it was just, maturation hit you. It's like,
Apart from her scandals, I believe one of the reasons Tiffany has experienced such a major fall-off is because she talks too much. After all, celebrities don't usually appreciate anyone revealing what happens behind the velvet rope. Since Tiffany has repeatedly spoken about things she allegedly saw at private events, it's possible that opportunities began drying up and the rooms that once welcomed her started showing her the door. But Common reportedly doesn't see it that way, and trust, he has dealt with Tiffany firsthand. Mind you, they were in a relationship, and after they broke up, Tiffany was accused of having difficulty letting go. Hollywood has its fair share of highly problematic and narcissistic actors and actresses who still get protected because they're valuable to the system. Even after major scandals, the door often remains open for them to make a comeback and climb back up the ranks. But baby, the thing about Tiffany is that she can sometimes appear unpredictable. And we've only seen what she chooses to put on social media. Imagine what things might have been like behind the scenes. And get this, according to the claims being discussed, one reason Common was reportedly quick to leave Tiffany involved concerns about her connection to Scientology and the possibility that she was getting in too deep without fully understanding what she had gotten herself into. Tiffany has spoken about encountering Scientology during one of the lowest periods of her life, when she was broke, homeless, and struggling to land a meaningful acting role, even as an extra on a low-budget production. She mentioned that someone approached her while she was waiting in line for an audition and told her that if she came to their center, they could help her find a job and a place to live. I mean, that sounded like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, so it's really no surprise that she decided to take it.
When I was homeless, I was standing in line at Central Casting to be a background worker, right? And I was living in my car, and this Scientology guy approached me, and he's like, hey, you can come and take these courses, and it'll help you with life and all that stuff, and maybe we can help you find housing. And I was like, shit, I'll go, like, have my own place, and they would give me $50 a month because they would cover all the food and clothing and everything, and so I would need $50 for
That's
that.
enough to buy a little weed.
A little weed and some maxi pads, right?
Yeah.
And so then I say, okay, and you have to sign this contract, like billion-year contract, and I signed it.
They were allegedly looking for someone they could develop who might help them connect with the Black community, particularly Black entertainers. Mind you, there have also been reports and claims over the years involving attempts to recruit other major celebrities, including Michael Jackson through his relationship with Lisa Marie Presley, though those claims remain disputed. Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith have also faced long-standing rumors about Scientology connections, which they have publicly denied. According to the claims being discussed, Tiffany appeared to be an ideal person for that kind of opportunity because she reportedly had few industry connections and no major mentor guiding her career at the time. She was also struggling and searching for opportunities, which may have made the promises being offered seem especially appealing. So, when she was reportedly presented with a long-term contract or agreement, she allegedly signed it without fully considering what it could mean down the road. However, if you've heard anything Leah Remini has said about Scientology, you already know that critics and former members have described the organization as far more complicated than it initially appears. Critics have alleged that members can become deeply involved with different aspects of their lives, including careers and finances, potentially influenced by the organization. Over the years, Scientology has undeniably placed significant emphasis on celebrity outreach and building connections within Hollywood. That's why some people have questioned whether Tiffany's rapid rise from a relatively unknown actress to starring in major projects and entering A-list conversations happened with additional industry support behind the scenes. A blind item even claimed that, in the beginning, Tiffany tried to hold up her end of an alleged agreement by encouraging friends to get involved, although those claims remain unverified. According to that same narrative, the situation supposedly changed as her confidence in her career grew, and she allegedly became less willing to continue supporting or participating in certain expectations. Now, other celebrities who have reportedly distanced themselves from Scientology were often already well established in Hollywood and had enough connections outside that circle to continue their careers independently. But Tiffany's situation, according to this theory, was different. Her career was only beginning to take off, and critics speculate that distancing herself from any powerful organization connected to her professional life could have carried serious consequences. See, Scientology has a controversial policy, historically known as fair game. According to descriptions of the policy and statements attributed to founder L. Ron Hubbard, the concept involved treating designated opponents in extremely aggressive ways. The policy has faced widespread criticism for decades, with the Church of Scientology disputing many characterizations of how it has been applied.
Deemed an enemy of the Church of Scientology, they are going to use any mean possible to come after you. And it's just nasty stuff. Again, a religious organization. It's part of the reason why I think they should lose their tax-exempt status.
What do they call that again? They have a word for it.
Fair game.
Fair games. And can you explain what that is?
Fair game is, like I said, it was the actual written policy of the Church of Scientology.
L. Ron Hubbard.
Of
right?
L. Ron Hubbard. I believe that it was in place until, fully in place in writing until like the 80s. And then they said they no longer do it, but they do. And that's where anybody who's been deemed an enemy of the Church of Scientology, you use any tactics possible to come after them. They are fair game.
That's why it felt like details about her personal life were suddenly put on full blast for the entire world to see, while all the positive media coverage completely faded away as if it had never existed. Officially, the organization has said it stopped using these practices as far back as the late 1960s, but former members and whistleblowers have claimed that similar tactics never truly disappeared. According to those allegations, they simply stopped using the original name and allegedly became more discreet and strategic, particularly when it came to using media pressure to damage someone's reputation or place them in highly compromising situations.
That sector of people, a lot of them practice Scientology. And Scientology, that was their thing. They would get people in compromising positions. They'll hold that footage over their head and get them to agree to things.
That's why it seemed like details about her personal life were suddenly exposed for the whole world to see, while all the positive media coverage surrounding her quickly disappeared as though it had never existed. Officially, the organization has maintained that it ended these practices back in the late 1960s. However, former members and whistleblowers have claimed that similar tactics never truly went away. According to those allegations, they simply stopped using the original name and became more discreet and strategic, particularly when it came to allegedly using media pressure to damage someone's reputation or place them in compromising situations.